Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we will be doing a person holding an object across the back, so actually behind the neck. So when we say that, it could be a person doing a behind the neck press, or it could be just holding an object behind across the back, a long object. It could be a stick, but it will all vary according to what we are trying to put on those shoulders. So we'll start with an arc, go down, we put in the head right there. So you could make this an egg shape, or you could, it depends. So please use very light strokes, and then from that T, I give him those circles for shoulders. His chest is going to come under that. That's the collarbone. So accordingly, roughly the chest and the lower torso. Now the lower torso is not our focus right now. We are focusing on the upper body here. So let's put an object right across. That is the object. Okay, just go back and forth. Just go back and forth again. So let's make it a little thick. So not necessarily a rod, but a thick stick, let's say. And then we go with the base anatomy, and that is form a line here, just below the chest, just as a guideline, and come right down here, circle, circle. That's the elbow. Forearm, forearm. So you could do this also, that V shape, or you could go like this all the way, 3 V's, or 2 adjoint W's, but that wouldn't be accurate. So 3 V's across will also do it. And then you put in circles right here. Now again, as I mentioned, that it will vary. Now we are only focusing on a thinner object. If this was a thicker thing like a tree trunk, the placement of the hands would be entirely different, and we will explore that in the future, but not right now. Right now we're focusing on the thinner object. So another line will help. I know there's a lot of lines, but they help in putting down all of these things. So let's actually go this way and start putting in the details or the musculature. You could even show him with some bulk if you wish, because after all, it is a lifting pose. Now it does not necessarily have to be a bulky person. It could be a martial artist holding a stick casually behind his head, or even somebody else. Perhaps that tramp image from the days of old, when they used to hold their belongings in a sack supported by a stick, and they used to walk long distances with that stick draped across the back like that. So it could be that, but we, just for the sake of choosing one base figure, we are doing this right here. So a fairly athletic person holding on to that stick, or sorry, that, let's say it's a bar. And then now from here, there's two ways you can go about it again depending on the placement of the bar. If the bar is placed and weighing down excessively, you have to draw the the butt of the hand like that. So just draw another oval right above the wrist like this as a guideline, and then go like that, and then come back down like this and that, and then 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Let's put that bar across. So the bar is going across and the bar is inside the hand. It's a fairly thin bar. Let's say that it's an Olympic bar. They're thicker than the conventional bars. And of course you're going to next because the thumb is behind, you could show a portion of it like this. It's not curled around the bar, but the fingers are, depending on what hand is doing it. So 1 2 3 4. Again over here, 1 2 3 and 4. Keep the size in mind. That, and of course it varies with every hand. If I erase some of those details, you will see that it will look a little more appealing and not like a dissected thing. I'm going to take off those straight lines so that you could see the focus of our little exercise here. And there we have it. So pretty much got all of that down. Of course, it'll depend. Now here you could do so many things again. You give more bulk or leave it the way it is. And down the center has moved a little bit there, I see. You could have him, if it's a dramatic thing, a little dramatization there, you could have him looking down a little bit. Usually the chin would droop, but so according to the placement, let's not do that. We will just have him looking straight up now. A little boring, but also accurate because he is concentrating. So eyes, nose, mouth, ears, and of course the remainder is all details that you're going to work in yourself depending on what you want to do with the illustration. But there is that figure holding the bar across the back. Not very difficult with a little practice, but also there are so many details that you can incorporate into this. And now just to finish off, let's say that there's a light source coming like straight down. If it does, I will just put in some shadow. So essentially the shadows vary wherever the muscle structure is built up. So what I'm showing is fairly and very generic, hence I'm just using some cross hatching. But when the shadows do fall, for example on the pectorals right here, it will be something along these lines and not too distance, not too distant from what I'm trying to portray here, because the anatomy, as ingenious as it is, rises above pretty much anything else when it is loaded, like for working. So I'm just putting in some, although this is not the focus of our little exercise here, but and all the little details like veins, or the skin folds right here, nails, skin folds, it will all, and there's a little bit of shadow there, it'll all of course fall into place as you work to finish your image. But the whole point is, again, highlighting that anatomy that is holding that bar up. So again, the light source that is above, right above this figure, I would say that view would have somewhat of an effect that is cast this way. Just trying to make that a little even. I know that I didn't essentially iron out every detail when I started, because again, we achieved the purpose of our exercise by drawing those hands wrapped around that bar and put or set in that position. So there we have it. Quick essential exercise in putting down a hand holding that bar. And here we have it. You could also check the balance later. If the figure you're drawing is balanced, sometimes it's harder than you think. And if you're just doing it on an independent piece of paper, the one way is to hold the thing backward and check it against the light. You will be surprised of how many errors can be found that way. So I'm just shading the bar accordingly against the light, and we are done. Right, so thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe and keep in touch. Have yourself a wonderful day.